I wasn't invited to my husband's brother's engagement party. Family only, his mother said. He went without me. That night, I sat at home, staring at my phone, plotting. By the next morning, her country club membership was gone. Her charity board forced her to step down, and my husband's father's golf club canceled their membership. They had no idea it was me until they did. If you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, or humiliated by someone you're supposed to call family, hit subscribe, like this video, and stay tuned for a story of justice so satisfying you'll feel it in your bones. Let's dive in. It all started with what should have been a simple evening. My husband, let's call him Alex, had a younger brother, Daniel, who was getting engaged. Normally, we attended family events together, but this time, I wasn't invited. Family only, his mother said casually, brushing me off like I was invisible. The words didn't just sting, they burned. The coldness in her voice, the slight smirk when she said it, it all screamed, "You don't belong here." Alex, ever the peacemaker, hesitated. "Maybe you can just..." I stopped him before he could finish. "No," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, though my chest felt tight and my heart raced. "I'm not going to sit quietly while they do this." And just like that, he left. He left without me. That evening, I sat on the couch, the TV flickering, my fingers curling around my phone. I wasn't just angry, I was furious. My mind raced with questions. How dare they exclude me? Who do they think they are? It's funny how anger sharpens focus. By the time the clock struck midnight, I wasn't just thinking about my anger, I was strategizing. I started making calls. Not angry, shouting calls. Calm, precise calls to everyone who could influence them. Everyone whose respect or authority they depended on. I called the manager at the country club where my mother-in-law spent most of her social life. I reached out to the head of the charity board she volunteered for. I even spoke with contacts at the golf club where my father-in-law had friends and influence. The conversation was always the same. I was polite, even deferential, but I left no room for misunderstanding. I explained the situation, the behavior I had observed, and the implications it had. I didn't embellish. I simply presented facts, and the system worked. By morning, the dominoes started falling. Her country club membership was revoked. I had never even imagined how fast that would happen. The charity board, scandalized by what they learned in my calls, asked her to step down immediately. And the golf club membership canceled. It was almost surreal. I didn't expect this level of impact. I only expected some small sense of satisfaction, but this was something else. Meanwhile, Alex came home, still oblivious. He was puzzled, noticing the tension in the house phone calls and emails caused. "What's happening?" he asked, frowning. I let him stew for a moment. The power of knowing what's coming and watching it unfold unseen is intoxicating. When they finally discovered why and who had orchestrated it, the shock was priceless. The horror in my mother-in-law's eyes when she realized her social leverage was gone. The disbelief of the charity board as they recounted the emails and calls. The quiet fury of my father-in-law when he learned the truth. It was all perfect. I didn't gloat. I didn't have to. The consequences were self-evident. And the poetic justice of it all? Immeasurable. Let me step back for a moment. To truly understand the satisfaction here, you have to understand what being excluded does to a person. Being told you don't belong. It cuts into your confidence, makes you question your place, your worth, and your marriage. But feeling powerless is a dangerous thing for someone like me. I'm not impulsive, but I am persistent. And that persistence channeled correctly becomes power. When they threw that engagement party without me, they thought they were protecting some fragile family ego. But what they didn't realize is that underestimating someone's intelligence and resourcefulness is a mistake you only make once. I remember sitting down that night, visualizing the steps, who needed to be called, what to say, and how to present it so that they wouldn't immediately suspect me. I had to be strategic. I couldn't just lash out, I had to dismantle their world with precision. I think what's most satisfying about this story is that the revenge wasn't just petty. It wasn't a social media post or a passive-aggressive comment. It was calculated, effective, and most importantly fair. They treated me as if I didn't exist, and I responded by showing that my influence, my intelligence, and my capability were exactly what they'd underestimated. Over the next few days, I watched the ripple effects. Family friends whispered about how suddenly everything seemed to fall apart for them. Alex, eventually understanding the scale of what happened, couldn't help but smile nervously. Did you do this? He asked one evening when I returned from running errands. I shrugged innocently. I just made a few calls. He didn't press further, and honestly, I didn't want to. Part of the thrill was leaving them to discover it themselves. There's a particular kind of satisfaction in watching someone confront the consequences of underestimating you, in seeing them piece it together without your guidance. The aftermath was transformative, for them, at least socially. My mother-in-law, who always flaunted her social status like a badge, had to confront her limitations. Her charity work was paused, her invitations curtailed. My father-in-law's golfing world suddenly seemed less secure. For me, I gained a quiet sense of power and clarity. I learned that the most effective revenge isn't loud or violent, it's strategic, composed, and intellectually precise. It's about using your tools, your mind, your connections, your patience to restore balance. People often ask me, was it worth it? Did it hurt me more than them? My answer is no. Every action I took was measured, and every consequence was justified. I didn't destroy them personally. I held them accountable for the behavior they had chosen. And the best part? It reshaped my marriage too. Alex now understood that exclusion wasn't acceptable, that my presence, my opinion, and my influence mattered. That night had been a turning point not just for them, but for how we navigated family dynamics moving forward. Revenge stories in real life are rarely as satisfying as in the movies, but when justice is calculated, fair, and proportionate, the emotional payoff is unmatched. And that's what this was. I wasn't seeking cruelty. I wasn't seeking dominance. I was seeking balance, and in doing so, I restored my own dignity, my own place, and my own peace of mind. Looking back, the lesson is simple. Never underestimate the person you think has no power. They may just have patience, intelligence, and the perfect plan, waiting for the right moment. And when that moment comes, the results are unforgettable. When they finally confronted me angry, shocked, humiliated, I simply smiled. I just made a few calls, I repeated. Their disbelief was intoxicating. No shouting, no arguing. Just the quiet satisfaction of seeing arrogance dismantled with precision. They realized excluding me wasn't just a social misstep, it was a tactical error. And in that realization, I found complete vindication. The anger they had provoked, the exclusion they had imposed, it all came full circle, perfectly balanced, without me needing to raise my voice. I felt peace. I felt clarity. I felt justice, not loud, not messy, but intelligent, precise, and thoroughly earned. Life has a way of testing patience, humility, and intelligence. When someone underestimates you, it's tempting to react impulsively, but the most satisfying victories come from strategy, not rage. Justice, when thoughtfully applied, resonates far deeper than any momentary emotional outburst ever could. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed or executed? Share it in the comments. Hit like if you felt that justice in this story, and subscribe for more tales where underestimation meets its match. Sometimes the best victories are quiet, calculated, and unforgettable.